Check, check, sound check. Will you check that up for us, Jeremiah?
It's already on.
It's on?
No, I can't see this.
You can't hear us? Check, check, check. Can you all hear me online? Leave a comment if you can hear us, please. Check, check. Are you on there, Ken? Can you hear me? Okay, okay. All right, sorry about that, folks. We had just a little tech problem there, but I just wanted to say Kuyana Teluchi, Chimai, hello, and thank you for coming. We have, okay, good. All right, we got you guys. All right, so we have a great show in store for you today, and we got a special guest interview. We have current events. We got some Alutiiq language, and we thank you all for joining us. A quick shout out to the Native Village of Port Lions for facilitating this, and also to Rural Cap, our friends over there with Eva Gregg. And we'd like to give a shout out to them and thank them for helping make this possible. So welcome to the 9th episode of King's Corner. And with that, we will jump right in, guys. We lost camera one, so we're going to have fun with tech stuff too.
Yippee.
Yeah. Sorry about this, guys, but it happens sometimes. Okay. All right. So we got everybody up. And anyway, we'll start with our guest, guys. You guys want to talk about who our guest is for today?
I will.
Okay, go ahead.
It is the one and only Jess.
Thank you, sir, for
The
that.
moderator.
I appreciate that. Yeah. So anyway, we talked about we were going to have Miss Peggy Azuyak, the rural schools principal, do it, but she had a scheduling conflict and wasn't able to do it. And so we had to reschedule and move some things around. And we talked about who we want to interview. And some of the students said me. So I'm going to put myself through the grinder today. And hopefully it'll be not too boring and maybe a little informative if you don't know me or about my family. So we can jump right in if you guys want. Go ahead, Titus.
Where were you born?
Where was I born? Okay, obviously, simple first question. Yeah, I was born in Kodiak. I was born on August 9th, 1980. And my mom, she likes to joke about how it was a rainy, storming, blowing night in the middle of the hospital. Like, lookout world here, this little ball of joy comes. And so anyway, it's a funny story whenever my mom tells it, but yeah, she always talks about how it was raining and storming and blowing and all that. So, I don't know what that means, but that's the way it was. So good question. Thank you, Titus. All right, Elijah.
So we heard that you were in the military. Could you talk about your military experience? Where have you been and what things have you learned from it?
Sure. So I joined the Air Force in 2000. I was a delayed enlistment program where you sign up before and you and then you go at a later date. But so I joined in September of 2000 and I completed basic training and then went on to a technical school to learn about what was called aerospace ground equipment engineering. And it covered everything from electronics and their in-depth theory of operation, as well as troubleshooting. So electronics, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, hydraulics, pneumatics, all manner of different areas of study as far as mechanical engineering goes. And so I was at technical school for about 6 or 7 months, and then I got orders to Kadena, Japan, and for whatever reason, I didn't want to go to Kadena, Japan, and anyway, I found a guy, and this is exclusive to the Air Force, but I swapped assignments with another guy who wanted to go to Japan, and this guy was going to Ellsworth Air Force Base in South Dakota, and so that ended up being my first duty station. And Ellsworth was one of two bomb wings at the time, so it was the 28th Bomb Wing, and we supported my favorite jet in the inventory, or the U.S. inventory, is the B-1 bomber. We called it the Bone. Right. So it's kind of because the military loves their acronym. So they called the Bone, B-1. It was the B-1 bomber. So we called it the Bone. And it's like a hot rod. It runs hard and fast, and it breaks hard and fast. So, but a really awesome piece of equipment. It's pretty neat. I also supported F-15, the Charlie version, the Echo version, out of Elmendorf Air Force Base in Anchorage there, and we also started getting the F-22s in right when I was leaving. So we supported all frames, and what we call them age for short. That was our job title, was age, right? And so we everything that on the flight line that's not an aircraft would essentially belong to us. Everything from maintenance stands to that you push up to the jet to work on it, to the hydraulic systems, the electrical systems, the tire systems. We had these really cool things. They were called we called them Cygnus for short, but they were self-generating nitrogen servicing carts, and they were really cool because there was an all self-contained unit, and they would extract nitrogen, because in aircraft tires you want nitrogen instead of standard just air going into the tires. And the reason for that is at different altitudes, air pressure expands and contract. Like if you brought a tire up at 30,000 feet, it would probably pop, right? Because there's less atmospheric pressure pushing on it as you go higher. And so, long story short, they use nitrogen, and we had these servicing carts that would extract the nitrogen out of thin air, and then it would fill it into nitrogen tanks, and then that's what they would use to service the aircraft tires. We also maintained and deployed bomb lift carts, and those are motorized vehicles that are hydraulic, and they're used to load bombs and missiles and stuff onto the aircraft. So there's a little bit about my military history there, or experience. What was your other question? Where have I been?
Yeah, where have you been and what did you learn?
Okay, where have I been? Okay, so I was stationed at first in San Antonio, Texas, and then went to tech school in it's okay. And so from San Antonio, Texas, we went to northern Texas in Wichita Falls, and there was the tech school. And then after that was Air Force Base in Ellsworth, near Rapid City in the western part of South Dakota. And from there, we deployed to the Persian Gulf in 2003, and that was an odyssey. We went from we flew from Rapid City, South Dakota, to Milan, Italy, in one shot, and it was a very long flight. I think it was 14 or 15 hours, but that's just in one shot. It was kind of crazy going all the way to Italy from the Midwest. And so that was pretty cool. And then it was another 8 hours to get to the Persian Gulf, where we were forward deployed, and where we conducted bombing operations and observance operations too. So it was a lot of fun. What did I learn? I learned so much in the military. I'm glad that I did it. If I had to do it over again, I would. You learn a lot about discipline and attention to detail. in the military. Those are two of my biggest takeaways probably from that. You also learn how to teach people. You learn how to lead people. And that's another skill that thankfully I've been able to take along with me and use in other areas of my life. And so I definitely learned a lot in the military. Good question. Good question. Was there another part of that? No.
No,
Okay.
that was good.
All right, Emily, what's your question?
What are your current job duties?
Ooh, current job duties. So right now I'm the project manager for the Alutiiq language program for the Native Village of Port Lions. That's a lot of words, right? To say a little bit. But no, that's my current job duties are basically formulating lesson plans, conducting two different teaching classes, one for the elementary and then one for you guys. And so I'm responsible for the syllabus for that, for implementing that, for improving that, and also came up with the idea of doing this live stream with you guys. And thank you guys for coming on this journey with me, because it's been a lot of fun. We've come a long way, I think, from our first one, huh, guys? I think
Sure.
yeah. Go ahead, Jess.
No, I was agreeing with you.
For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Well, it's a lot of fun, and those are my main job duties. I also help out, with random things that the tribe needs from time to time. Just try to be a team player wherever I go, and so you help where it's needed, and so I try to do that as much as I can. But good question, Emily. Thank you. All right, Sean, what do you got?
For the first question, what is your job history?
Ooh, my job history. Okay. So we got to go back a long ways for that one. I think I was 9 or 10 when I had my first quote unquote job. It wasn't like a normal job, but it was the first year that I went commercial fishing. And
Wow.
most of it was obviously at that age was to learn, but I did help out a little bit. And it was in Bristol Bay with Mike Forsero. And really nice guy, and Gina, nice family. Spent a lot of time with them, and grateful to them for showing me those ropes. But my first job, was commercial fishing. I've done gill netting. I've done seining. I've done long lining. I've done jigging for cod. And so I've also done tendering and stuff too around the island. So those are my sort of jobs that I had growing up, at least in the fishing industry. And then after that, I joined the military, and I was in the military for about 7 years. And that was my main, obviously, duty then, was to become proficient in my career field. It works a lot like the civilians do. For example, in a trade, you start as an apprentice, right, after you get out of school. And then from apprentice, you go to journeyman. And from journeyman, you go to, in the civilian world, it's called master. And then in the military, it was called craftsman. So I was able to get my craftsman level certification, which is equivalent to a master in my particular field. And so I'm grateful for that. I mean, it took a lot of hard work, and it took about five years to accomplish that, to get fully certified as a craftsman level ground equipment engineer. So that was my job in the military. After that, I did so much. I mean, I've been a painter. I've done labor work on construction sites. I've been in a band. I started a studio, a real audio recording studio with some friends down south. Chris and Ray, shout out to you guys. But we started. We were in the band together, and we decided we wanted to start a studio. And while it may have been short-lived, we actually had a famous drummer come in and record some tracks. And the name of our our studio was called Breakwater Audio, and
That's it.
so you can, if I told you the drummer, you could go look up his album, and it will say drums recorded at Breakwater Audio, and so that was pretty neat. That was a cool job. And so after that, like I said, I've done labor jobs. I've been a wind technician for General Electric. You guys know the big windmills up on Kodiak, up on Pillar there?
Yeah.
Those actually came from the company that I worked for, and it was my group of guys in Sweetwater, Texas, that serviced them and maintained them. And that was probably my scariest job I've ever had in my life. I mean, every day I would wake up and I'd be scared for my life, because you're climbing up 300 feet up in the air almost, and when you get out on top of the big box, it's called a nacelle. There's only a small bar on the bottom. There's no railing or anything, but there's only a small bar on the floor of the top of that thing that you clip into. And so you look over and it's almost 300 feet down and you're going, whoa, what am I doing up here? And those things were really crazy, guys, because they would sway back and forth like this in the wind. They were designed to sway, and their deflection would be up to 3 feet from center line in each direction. So it could swing 3 feet this way, go back to center, swing 3 feet this way, and back to center. So it's like 6 feet of movement. And so you're kind of doing this, almost 300 feet up every day. It was really scary, but I learned a lot with that job as well. And I'd probably never do it again, but that was a good job. And what was the other thing I wanted to mention with that? Anyway, it was a scary job, and I'm glad I don't do it anymore. So, and then after that, I came back to the village. I worked, what would you call it? Self-employed, doing like mechanical jobs and stuff, working on boats and vehicles and four-wheelers and stuff around the village. I've done that for years. I've also obviously worked in the language program before this. I worked as the environmental specialist here at the tribe, and now I'm back doing language again. So I've had a lot of different jobs, a lot of different experiences, and most of them were pretty informative. But that's a basic roundabout of my work history. Good question, Sean. Thank you.
All right. So since you've been in the military, where have you lived?
Since I've been in the military?
Yeah.
Is that what the question was? What's the question?
Well, my question is, you've been in the military, so you must have lived in a bunch of different areas, right?
Sure. So yeah, it's a good question. And I will put up some stuff from Kyle Vincent here. And from Eva Gregg. Thank you for that, Yvonne. That was really nice of you. Appreciate that. All right. Cool. And thanks, Kyle. Yeah, we're going to have to talk, Kyle, about your service background. Since you mentioned the Chair Force to me, I got to rib you back for that one. But thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. So the question, where have I lived? I've lived in a lot of different places. I was born in Kodiak. We lived in Kodiak for a time. I lived in Maui in Hawaii. I lived in Larsen Bay for a short time. I lived in Kodiak again after that. I've lived in Anchorage. I've lived in Texas, in Abilene, in San Antonio, in Wichita Falls. I've lived in Washington State, lived in Linwood, north of Seattle there. And I mentioned Anchorage. Lived in Wasilla. I've lived in Palmer. So yeah, I've lived a lot of different places over the years, and obviously now I'm back in Port Lions and have been for quite some time now. So So good question. Yeah, I've been around a little bit, not as much as some, a little more than some, I suppose. But good question, Jess. All right, Miss Allie.
So, where was your favorite place to live?
Ooh, it's a good question. A lot of these places had a lot of different things that were appealing to them. Obviously, Port Lions has got to be first, right? I love living here. I love the village lifestyle, and you know, a lot of times when you're younger, you want to kind of be in a city or near the action, right? And I remember feeling that way myself when I was your guys' age. I'm like, man, I can't wait to go out and live in the city and check out the scene and the sights and all that. And as I've gotten older, I like peace and quiet more, and not as much action. And so I enjoy the sort of tranquility in living in a village. So good question. Thank you. All right, Titus.
How do you feel about Jess Jr. graduating?
All right. So yeah, that's a good one. As you all know, Jess here is with us today, and he is going to be graduating here on the 21st. And it's a bittersweet thing, right? It's good and bad for me. Very proud of him, you know, and all you guys because getting your diploma is not a small thing. I mean, you guys have worked at it for, at this point, just now, how many years? 12 years? 12th grade, right? 12 years, first through 12th. So, yeah. I mean, over a decade, and you guys are not far behind, and you guys are coming up quick. So it is a milestone in your guys' lives. And so Jess is crossing that threshold here next week, and very proud of him, and grateful to be his father. And hopefully he can take some of the things that I've tried to teach him with him and will help him. And so he learns from my mistakes instead of making the same ones I did, I hope. But good question, Titus. All right, Elijah.
How long have you been involved in the Alutiiq language?
How long have I been working on the Alutiiq language? A great question. I grew up, my grandma and a lot of family members I grew up would speak it to us. My grandma was the only one that was fluent. The rest of them kind of had a few words here and there. But mainly I learned from my grandmother, Sophie Kotelnikov, and later became Sophie Shepard. And anyway, she was heavily involved in the language revitalization on the island. So hats off to her. She passed a few years back, but she was really helpful and instrumental in me wanting to learn. And I also worked on the original Alutiiq language preservation project, and that was, I think, in 2013 until the grant ran out. And then we worked for Afognak Native Corporation, or excuse me, the Native Village of Afognak as contractors for a time, and met a lot of really nice people. Shout out to Derek Shaya, there's so many, the NVA administrator now. Her name slips my mind. I apologize, but April Counselor, and another one would be Alicia Drebeck. These are all people that I look up to when I'm learning, and some of this stuff is self-taught because we don't have that many people left that speak in the village, and so some of it I have to make phone calls, or I've asked Peggy Azuyak for some help because she's also really great with the language too. So been involved in it in one way or another for a good while now. So great question. Yes, thank you. Yeah, go ahead, Ginger, if you had something. Okay, so who is next? Mr. Elijah? No, that was yours. That was yours. Yeah, thank you. All right, Emily.
What inspires you in the things that you do?
What inspires me? Well, that's a really good question. I suppose I have several different inspirations. I would say for me personally, first and foremost is my faith. That inspires my faith in God, my faith in Jesus. And that really hopefully colors everything that I do. And sort of the first thing that I think about when I go to do something is, what would God do, or what would Jesus do? You guys have maybe heard that along the years, or whatever. It was a popular phrase, but that's really where my inspiration comes from, to serve people and to help people. And I give all the credit and glory to Him, because all good things come from Him. And so that's really what inspires me. I have other inspirations as well, like my family, my wife, Crystal, my children, Jess, Jillian, and Aaron, other family members, my mother, Jess's mom, Mandy. These are all friends and family members that have inspired me to want to be better and want to do better. And so these are the things that really inspire me. So that's a great question. Thanks for that, Ginger. All right, good, great question, Emily. Okay. Go ahead, Sean. And thank you for sitting in for Uriah, by the way.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
What are your hobbies?
Ooh, what are my hobbies? Okay, so what I didn't know, and your teacher and I are going to have some words out back, because he apparently is involved in photography in some form, I hear tell. So anyway, no, photography is a hobby of mine. I was really into it, amateur, but enthusiast nonetheless. But photography is a really good one. I was on a kind of a roll. This was back when 35 millimeter was still popular. And so anyway, photography is a big one for me until I got all my camera equipment stolen, unfortunately. But that's a big one for me. I've always liked basketball. I have herniated discs and stuff from my service in the military, so I can't run around like you guys as much anymore, but I still like shooting hoop. I like tossing the pigskin around, right, in the yard and with friends and stuff. I like hunting when I can get out and do that. And I like playing games too. Yeah, I'm like the old guy that plays video games, but no, I do like playing some video games. And it's kind of funny because I think I started in 1989. It was around when the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, the NES, came out, and along came Mario Brothers and Donkey Kong and Duck Hunt. And these are all classic games that are the forerunners of all the games that you guys play today. And so that's what I grew up playing. And so anyway, if anybody wants to challenge me, I welcome the challenge. Jess knows. If you know, you know, right?
Yeah.
I'm not the greatest, but I can hold my own. But so yeah, that's a good question. Thanks for that. I think that's it for my hobbies. Oh, I like music. I haven't played in a bit, but I like guitar. I like playing the piano. I like singing poorly. But if you guys are interested in this, I have to say this, because when I was growing up, people would say, as far as like singing or anything that required some talent, they'd say, well, either you got it or you don't. They would say either it comes to you or it doesn't, and you're just not one of those people. I'm here to tell you this is not true. You can, whatever you set your minds to do, you can do, and that includes music. I wasn't good playing the guitar, but I worked hard at it and became proficient. I wasn't good at playing the piano, but I worked at it and improved and enjoyed it. I was horrible, and you guys know I kind of have a monotone voice anyway. But when I worked at it, because your vocal cords are muscles, right? And you can train muscles. So, and what's cool is everybody has their own sort of resonant nasal resonance. And this is the core of where your sound and your tone comes from. And each one's is unique. And so if you work at it, some people can just, just sing away or play away, and it's easy for them, and more power to them. I'm happy for that. But what I'm saying is if somebody is not necessarily talented, right, or it doesn't come easy, doesn't mean you can't do it. If you put in the work, you work hard at it, and you really try your best, you can become proficient at everything that I'm talking about. And really, the sky's the limit. And the same goes with singing. When I first started, I mean, it sounded like a mouse, like trying to sing. And once I developed it, I got quite a lot better, and I could hold a tune. Now, am I going to be like, I don't know who's like Adele or something like that, well, say what you want about Adele, but she's got some pipes, right? She has an amazingly beautiful voice, and my hat's off to her as a musician, because she's very special. But anyway, point is you can do what you set your mind to, and that is music included. If you don't have natural talent and you still want to do it, just go do it. Practice it, work at it, and you will improve. And that's a lot of times more than what naturally talented people are willing to do, because it comes easy to them. So anyway, that's just sort of my 2 cents on that. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
We got another. Thanks for that, Kyle. Okay, who was that? Sorry, I got sidetracked a little bit.
That was me.
That was you, Sean. Okay, Jess.
So, how long have you been teaching?
That's a good question. I haven't always taught one thing. Wherever I go, I've been fortunate enough to be able to be in a position to where I can learn it and learn it well and be proficient at it, and then teach others. So aside from maybe a job or two doing construction labor, wherever I've worked at, like every place that we've mentioned before, I have ended up teaching at, right? And so this began for me as far as the Alutiiq back in 2013. This is my first time teaching your age group, though, and I'd like an honest critique of that, because I haven't done your guys' age group before. I've always taught younger kids than you and older adults than you, but I've also taught everyone from, say, age 18 all the way up to 60. And as an instructor or as a leader in the military, as a craftsman in my craft, and then to teaching, obviously, my children. So there's a lot of different avenues that I've used. I think my skills, hopefully for good, and to help others, essentially, in what we talked about, inspiration. And it's to me, success is not what's in your bank account, but how many people did you help? How many people did you lift up, right? And so I hope that if I'm remembered for anything, it's that I helped people when I could. And so, good question. Good question, Jess. Okay, Miss Allie.
What was life like during your childhood?
Ooh, that's another good question. And I thought a little bit about this one. We moved around a lot. It was a little bit tumultuous for a while. My dad died when I was 4 years old, and so that was a seminal moment in my young life. And after that, we moved around quite a bit. But overall, I mean, I went to Catholic school, right, at St. Mary's in Kodiak for a time, learned a lot there. Got scared of the nuns there. Sister Margaret Ann and Sister Diane, if you guys know, watching who those folks were, they were definitely formidable women, and they were definitely scary when I was going to grade school there. But moved around a lot and finally settled here in Port Lions. I think in third or fourth grade, moved here and graduated here. So so it's been really interesting and lived a pretty interesting childhood, and hopefully I learned something. Good question, Allie. All right, Titus.
Why did you join and why did you leave the military?
Ooh, a very good question. Why did I join the military? Well, there are several reasons for that. One of them obviously being because I needed a job, right? You have to, you have to take care of yourself and pay for yourself. And that was one of the motivations. But I think overall, it was a sort of sense of duty. We've had family members that have served in the past. And so that was, serving our country was a big part of that. And why I chose to join the military. And why did I leave? Another great question. I signed up for 6 years. I ended up staying almost a whole year later because I got hurt. Like I mentioned, the herniated discs in my spine and lots of other wear and tear, but mainly it was back issues, which unfortunately was common in my career field. And that's essentially why I got out was a medical. I was discharged honorably, but under medical conditions. And so that's why I got out of the military. So good question. Thank you, Titus. All right, Elijah.
Living here in Alaska and on Port Lions, what is your favorite animal to hunt?
Ooh, that's a good one. I hunted lots of different animals, everything from sea creatures to land creatures, everything in between, shot bear. It was never for sport, though. It was always for DLP. They call it defensive life and property. And but my favorite animal to hunt, I think by far, is the Roosevelt elk that we have here in Afognak. They are sort of like, and your teacher will tell you this, they're sort of like ethereal creatures, right? There's a mysticism to them almost. There's this magical quality that they have that I think anyway, and lots of folks that hunt them say similar things, but they're such a majestic creature and monstrous, huge, and they travel in packs and herds, right? And I have a couple stories of being in shooting range of some major bulls, which I passed up. And if I had to do it again, I would pass it up because the conditions aren't always right, and you take a risk once you pull the trigger and the animal is down, that's when the work starts, right? And so we were in a situation, and Jess knows this last time, we could have shot a big one, but it was too late in the day. We had two inexperienced hunters with us, and they would have had to been packing, they would have had to been packing quarters and meat in the dark in Afognak, which is a super scary thing. And it was family members, and I wasn't willing to take that risk with them. That cost us an elk, but we all came back safe, and that was the number one thing. That was the number one importance and focus for me, was just to get everybody back safe, because there are lots of folks that have accidents in Afognak, and also there's people that gotten mauled by bears because they're so thick out there. There's bears everywhere out there. And so but definitely elk. Elk hunting is pretty neat, and they're pretty vocal too during their rut season, and it's pretty neat being able to call to them and have them call back at you. It's really interesting. So great question, Allie. Oh wait, no, sorry, Jess, sorry. All right.
That was
That
me.
was- yeah, that
I'm
wasn't
so
me.
way off. See, I get so I'm having to try and moderate this, right? And think about the questions and answer them, and then
It's too much
remember
for
the
you.
order. So thank you for
Too
helping
locked
me.
in.
Yeah, I'm too locked
Too
in.
locked in.
Okay, who's next? I should have asked that.
Me.
Okay, Miss Emily.
Could you describe some of your greatest days?
Ooh, very good. Yeah, I've thankfully been blessed to have several great days, and I wish all of you the same. Definitely, one of my greatest days was graduating, the military and getting certified. The day Crystal and I got married, that was one of my greatest days. The day Jess was born, one of my greatest days. The day that Jillian and Aaron were born, another two of my greatest days. Probably tops on that list is the day that I gave my life to God. That was my number one greatest day. And so I'm very grateful for that. But a lot to be thankful for, a lot of blessings in my life that, if you guys know what grace is undeserved favor. And I've been shown a lot of undeserved favor. While I don't deserve it, I've been blessed anyway. And so I'm very grateful for that. And I've had a lot of really great days. And so those are just the top ones. I've had several others as well. But those ones top it for me, I think. Good question. Who's next?
That is me.
Okay.
What are some of the differences between rural and urban life?
Ooh, okay. So this is a good one, and I'm glad you guys brought this up when we were talking about questions, right? Because there's obviously a stark difference. Like urban life, there's always something going on. There's always an event or a fair or, a display or a festival, or there's always some kind of action going on, usually right in the city. And this is very appealing, especially to young folks that are, maybe from here that want to get out and explore stuff. There is a downside to the urban life, and that is the cost. I mean, you can't do anything really without spending money. If you want to go drive to a store, you got to pay for gas to get to the store. And usually you'll pick up, a little something here and there. So that costs you. And if you want to go out to eat, that costs you. If you want to go to a movie or festival, all these things like Saturday Market in Anchorage, when you go to these things, they all cost money, right? And so that is one of the good things and the bad things about living in a city is there's always something happening, but it always costs money. There are some exceptions, of course, but that you can enjoy without having to pay much. But most of the attractions and that type of thing cost money. And so it's expensive to live in the city. It is very expensive to live in the city. You contrast that with living in a village like Port Lions. What are we going to spend our money on? I mean, we could spend a little at the student store, right?
Yeah.
Or the vending machines, right? Or a special event like when the tribe has events, or whether it's 4th of July or whatever it may be, we can spend money here and there. But it's a lot easier to save money in the village. Again, the opposite side of that is expensive to get stuff here. And it takes hard work to get stuff here, right? And so, anyway, it's they both have pros and cons about them. It's really what is, at the end of the day, what is your preference, right? And I've lived in cities and I've lived in villages, and one thing that we don't have here, like traffic, is 4 vehicles in a row, right? Like if there's 4 vehicles on the road, you're like, does this guy, why is he not at home? Don't go home. But anyway, so some contrast between urban and rural living, and both can be good, both can be great. it really comes down to preference. So, good question. Who's next?
I am. So out of all the factions, and why did you choose the Air Force?
Good
Or the
question.
or military?
Right. I'll help you with that. So bring it down like this. Right. There you go.
I got
Sorry.
it. I got it. You
Okay.
can ask the question.
All right. So yeah, to answer your question, Jess, why did I choose the Air Force? Right. Well, again, I was fortunate to when I took the ASVAB, I scored in the highest percentile in the whole state. And so essentially what that means is I could pick whatever job that I wanted, and I could pick any service that I wanted. That was just a blessing that I did well on that test. Why did I choose the Air Force? I've always loved jets and airplanes, typical guy with things and rockets. And, I love the F-15 Eagle. I've loved the F-14 Tomcat, the F-18, the A-10, the B-2, all the inventory of the Air Force I really loved. And so that was one of the defining factors. The other one is that the Air Force is the hardest to get into in general. They have a bar that they set that's a little bit higher than the rest of the military branches. I don't know if that's changed since I was in, but that's the way it was when I was going into it. And so the Air Force had better training. They had better facilities. They had better food, which is a big thing. All the other branches would like to come to our chow hall, right, our dining facility, and eat with us because we always had the best food and the best places to stay. And just as an example of that, when we were deployed in the Persian Gulf, there were Marines, forward operator Marines, that are sitting out there in the desert. And in the desert, it's 110, 120 during the day, and it gets down all the way to like 45 at night. So you're just baking in the sun, right, during the day, and at night you're freezing, because your body is climatized to that hot weather. And so there's these Marines out there, and the poor guys, they're in foxholes, and they're in makeshift tents and stuff like that. And then when the Air Force pulls up and gets in there, we have air conditioned tents and air conditioned facilities, and it was all really plush compared to the rest of the services. So that was a good one. Thank you for that. But yeah. So Kyle knows. Hey, Kyle, what branch were you in, brother? What service were you in? We have to find this out. Give us a comment.
I kind of want to meet Kyle now.
I know,
He's
right?
commented so much.
Right, for sure. Well, Jess Pelagea says hi. Ooh, Eden says hi. Hi, sweetheart. My little niece there is online watching too, so that's very cool. Hi, pretty. How are you? All right. Oh, okay. So Army. So he was. Yeah. Okay. We like to make fun of the Army. So no. But thank you for your service there, Kyle. And yeah, Army's a good branch to go into as well. But for me, I wanted to join the quote Air Force, and so we had a lot of good stuff, and that's essentially why I chose the Air Force. Good question, Jess. All right, Allie.
What countries have you been to?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, I've been to Mexico, in Puerto Vallarta on the western coast of Mexico. I've been to the Netherlands. I've been to Amsterdam. I've been to Dublin, Ireland, Cork and Waterford, Ireland, Wexford, Duncannon. These are all places in Ireland that I've been to. I've been to Frankfurt, Germany. I've been to I've been to Milan, Italy. Where else? Milan, Italy. I've been to the Persian Gulf. We were just south of Saudi Arabia, and where would I like to go is probably the only place. And once they invent teleportation, is New Zealand. I'd really like to check out New Zealand. That would be really cool. That would be a bucket list item for me. But I've been several places in Europe, and obviously I've been to Canada. I've been through there a few times. They're really gorgeous in British Columbia and stuff. So check those out if you get a chance. Good question. Thank you, Allie. Was that? Okay. Yeah, so you guys can see my mom on here chiming in. Thanks, Mom. Oh, was that your last one?
Yes.
Okay. Titus, did we do your last one? Okay. I think we got them all, didn't
I
we?
have the final question.
Okay, yeah.
I got
So
one more question.
yeah, go ahead, Elijah. What was your final one?
So everybody wants to know why you don't cut your hair. Why your hair is so long.
Very good, very good. So yeah, you can see I got a little bit there. I got the ponytail going on, but why do I not cut my hair? For several reasons, actually. And most of them are function over fashion, right? In the village, it's just a lot easier to not cut your hair. There's not a real need to be high and tight, as they say. And that's another reason is when the whole time I was in the military, I had to have a high and tight. I mean, it was all buzz cut and short, and it had to be that way. And I had to get a haircut every other week, you know. And so while it was fine for the time, I actually I was tired of it. And so that's why I kind of have changed course on that. I'm like, I'm not going to cut my hair again. The other reason why I do it is a nod to my heritage. It's a nod to, you know, the native men that came before me that also didn't have buzz cuts before the Russians came and told them that it was wrong. So it's a bit of a nod, to my heritage. It's easy, you know what I mean? And it's sort of village style, I like to call it. So hopefully that answers your question.
Jack's wondering if it's a wig.
Right. Yeah. Thanks for that, Jack. You would. There we go. Hey, there it is. I mean, if you need some extra hair, Jack, I mean, I know you're getting a little thin on top, so we'll help you out with that, brother. Great. Awesome. Okay. Well, I think that's it, right, for the questions. So thank you guys very much for interviewing me. I appreciate it. I hope you learned something. I hope it was fun. I hope there was some good information that you might be able to use to help you in your lives. And I appreciate going on this journey with you guys. It's been a lot of fun, and looking forward to continuing it. So with that, we will switch gears here, folks, and we will go on to the normal part of our broadcast, which talks about current events and also the weather and some other things. So let's get right to it. Who are we going to start with? Titus? Oh, wait, no, you're doing weather. I guess you could do the weather now. Let me bring that up for you, brother. Weather.
While he's pulling it up, thank you for everybody who's commenting. If you have anybody that would want to watch, please feel free to share it and get as many people in here as you can. But we appreciate everyone talking and staying busy in the chat.
Well said. Thank you for that. Yeah, you guys can chime in like that anytime you want. Anytime there's something you want to say to our viewers, you're more than welcome. Let me do screen share. There we go. Okay. And before we do this, I just want to show the folks at home real quick. I wanted to show, we didn't get to show this last time for you folks at home, but we wanted to show you the ferry schedule. And I know you guys can all look that up or whatever, but we just wanted to show the ferry schedule for you guys here. As you can see for May, we got Fridays and Mondays, it looks like. So take a minute to check that out. And if you have any intentions of using our ferry system, we are grateful for it. And so, yeah, looks like, what's the date today, guys? 15th. So the next one is arriving from Homer at 9:30 here, and then coming back at about 8 o'clock. So next Friday, or actually tomorrow. And then the next one is Monday, and the next one's Friday and Monday. And looks like there's a Tuesday one. Maybe they're doing that for the for Crab Fest, guys. Maybe we could dial that in, sneak in on the cheap, right, and go get some Bruin burgers or something. That'd be cool.
I've taken that ride all the way to Homer, and it is not fun. You can see it says 2:30 in the morning.
Right.
Take it all the way till
Right.
8, 9 o'clock. It's just like.
Lost the feed. They keep falling. Yes, you're doing great.
Are we good?
Yeah, we're good. Okay. All right. So there's the ferry schedule for you folks at home. Check it out and book as needed. All right. You guys are fighting with that thing, huh? There you go. All right, Titus, let me pull that up for you. Get this screen share correct, guys. Give me 1 second. Screen share, sorry. All right. So let's look at Wendy. All right. What's going on with the weather here, Titus?
Today, east wind is 15 knots, diminishing to 10 knots in the afternoon, and the seas are at 4 feet. Tonight, variable wind less than 10 knots and seas 3 feet. West wind 10 knots and seas 2 feet. West wind and Friday, west wind 10 feet, seas 2 feet. Friday night, west wind 10 knots, seas 2 feet. Saturday, southeast wind 10 knots, seas 3 feet. Sunday, northeast wind 10 knots, seas 3 feet. Monday, west wind 10 knots and seas 2 feet.
Awesome. So yeah, do you guys remember we talked about if you know the wind direction, you can probably guess what the weather is. So for example, if we have an easterly or a northeast, what do you guys think? What weather will that bring? Any guesses? What do you think, Emily? Okay, so east or northeast usually brings rain and bad weather and storminess, right? And as you saw in the forecast, looks like Monday or Friday and Monday, we have westerlies, and usually westerly winds bring good weather. Not all the time, but most of the time. Every once in a while, there's wet westerlies, but anyway. Okay. So thank you for that. Yeah, you can do the, if you want, you can do the Shelikoff one too.
The Shelikoff is
Shelikoff.
Today is northeast wind 25 knots and seas 7 feet. and rain. Tonight will be south winds 20 knots in the evening, becoming variable 10 knots, seas 3 feet. Friday, west wind 15 knots and seas 3 feet. Seas 3 feet. Friday night, west wind 15 knots, seas 3 feet. Saturday, south wind 15 knots, seas 3 feet. Sunday, northeast wind 15 knots, seas 4 feet. And Monday, last of all,
Okay.
west wind 15 knots, seas 4 feet.
Awesome. Great job on that, Titus. So we just brought you the most updated NOAA weather forecast coming at you live from the native village of Port Lions. Let me cover this and cover this, and we are back. Okay, so great job on that, Titus. Okay, Mr. Elijah.
Do you want me to do animals or current events first, since we're
Just
running-
we'll do animals.
Okay. So
You have fish species, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me add that and go ahead.
Okay, we got animals and Alutiiq today for your daily dose of learning the language.
Nicely done.
For the word fish, we have igachluk, which is just generic fish, any kind of fish. If you catch a halibut, it's a shahik. And then if you catch we're gonna go to our salmon. If you catch a red salmon, it's a niklik.
Very good. Niklik.
Niklik.
Very good.
King salmon is a mashuk.
Amashuk.
A silver is kakiyak.
Kagiyak.
A humpy or pink is a amatuk.
Amachtuk.
A dog is alimak.
Very good. Alimak.
And then cod is amudak.
Mudak.
And then for a trout, it's anjik.
Anjik. Excellent. Man, he flew through that. Nicely done. Nicely done. Okay. Thank you for that, Elijah. Okay, Miss Emily. You have weather in Alutiiq.
Yeah.
Bless you.
And like, so you can talk.
Oh my goodness, Kyle. Yeah, so we don't envy you those temperatures. Get to some AC, brother.
So
There's Dave. A little choppy next few days. Roger, yes, sir. Thank you for that, Dave. All right. Weather in Alutiiq. Go ahead, Miss Emily.
just doing eta
Very good.
is how's the weather today?
Very good.
And another way to say it is kayu pet eta.
Very good.
How is our weather?
Excellent. Kayu pet eta. Nice.
Flashutwa.
Mhm.
I'm checking out the weather.
Lashuchtwa.
Mahjong is it is sunny.
Mm-hmm.
Kilatuk is it is cloudy or there are lots of clouds.
Very good. Kilachtuk.
Majangunakuk.
Oh, excellent job.
It's trying to get sunny.
Oh my goodness. You did great on that.
Linatuk.
Schlachnachtuk. That's a tough one.
It is messy.
That's kind of like it is today, huh? Schlachnachtuk. Ugh.
And Imashanat.
Very good. Ima
It
shuchnachtuk.
is depressing.
It is, yeah. Sometimes it gets that way, right? Here. Ima shuchnachtuk. Oh, yeah.
Kayung Luni is gusty.
Very
the wind
good.
blows hard.
Very good.
Kitanguk is it is raining. And
Mhm.
Pinatuk is it is nice and calm.
Nice.
Talumau
Very good. Talumauk.
is it is overcast. And Kaninguk is it is snowing.
Very good. Excellent job on that Alutiiq weather. Well done, Emily. Smoked it. Proud of you. Wow. Good job. All right. Oh, okay. So, and thank you again, Sean, for taking Uriah's spot. We will take this off and we will pick up. Are you good, Jess?
Yeah. I said good job.
I like the fact. I looked on KMXT and I didn't see that on there. I looked and I couldn't
Oh
find
yeah,
anything.
it
I
must
was
be a
like,
new
"Oh,
one. Yeah, yeah. But that's a good one, right? Okay. So, all right. What do you got, Sean?
Personal pronouns.
Very good. Okay. Personal pronouns.
The first one we got is hui. It's I or me.
Very good.
Oh, um, for the second one we got ethbet.
Espet. Uh-huh.
It's you.
Mm-hmm.
Alfred.
Esleen.
Oh, Aslin.
Mm-hmm.
He, she, or it.
Very good. Very good. Those are some personal pronouns. Appreciate that. All right. Next, we have demonstrative pronouns in the singular form.
Una is this one.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Try and get closer to the mic if you can, brother. There you go. Good job.
Una is this one.
Like by me or us.
Yeah, by me or us.
Yeah, there you go. Good job.
Wait.
Daughna.
Oh, dahuna.
Daughna.
Is this one or by you? Or
Right.
that one by you?
Very good. Very good. That one by you.
Ikna is that one over there.
Right. Una, daughna, and ikna. Ikna is that one way over there. Very good. Excellent job on that. Thank you, Sean. All right, Mr. Jess, what do you got?
I'm doing the Alutiiq word of the week.
Okay, let me pull that up for the folks at home. All right.
This one is mountain, and Ingik is how you would say mountain.
Ing Adahwan. How do we say that in a sentence?
You could say the mountains are covered with snow, which is Ingik Paduma Mauk Anu Yumak. It's
Yeah.
a mouthful. there.
Yeah, I did it. I did a bit of a typo there. It's Padu Maut Inget Padu Maut Anumak. And the mountains are covered with snow. Inget Padu Mauk Anumak. Excellent job. Thank you for that word of the week, Jess. And we are going a little quick because I know we're a little bit over on time, guys. So I apologize for that. You all can thank Mr. S too afterwards. Got to give him a little ribbon, folks. It's all in good fun. Okay. Sorry. Miss Allie, what did you have today?
Environment in Alutiiq.
Oh,
Or
okay.
interior in Alutiiq.
Okay, interior environment. Okay, that's good. Because this is exterior. We will scroll down past interior. Okay.
Okay. Amik is door.
Amek.
Stuluk is table.
Stuluk.
Halak
Very good. Halak.
is window.
Very good.
Nadak
Nadak.
is floor. Kalikuk is paper.
Very good. Kalikak.
And Stulchik is chair.
Very good. Stulchik. Stulchik. Stuluk is what?
Chair.
That's Stulchik. Stulchik.
Wait,
Stulik.
Wait.
Stuluk. Stuluk is table, remember? Yeah. Good job. Excellent job on that, Allie. Well done. No,
You were confusing me.
no,
Sorry.
I know that was my fault. You can blame me and tell your mom too. Blame Jess. But no, he did excellent. Well done on that. All right, Mr. McElwain, talk to us about the senior meal menu.
Today there is salmon parak, potato, salad, veggies, and soup.
Very good.
On the 20th, there is congregate meal
Congregate.
at 4 p.m. and hamburgers.
Doing good.
On the 21st, chicken enchiladas, rice and beans. Pork chops. On the 22nd, pork chops, potatoes, rolls, and soup. and that's all.
Awesome. Great. So yeah, we look forward to that. And if you guys can pick up a really good senior meal there from Bill and from Roxanne, they do an excellent job in preparing these really good meals for the elders and for anybody else who wants to buy them. So hats off to Bill and Roxanne. Thank you guys so much. All right, Elijah, what do you got?
What was the torch run on again? Was that
I don't remember.
law enforcement?
I can't remember honestly. We
That's
can
okay.
I can look it up for you if you want.
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to talk about some current events that are happening in Kodiak within the next week or two. So we have a law enforcement torch run, which is a event that takes place in different states and around the country, and it's just to remember our law enforcement and to support them. That's on May 17th, so it'll be in Kodiak. They'll be running a torch. You can go and watch it or participate in however you want. And then on the 22nd at 4 p.m. in the mall in Kodiak, we have the Alutiiq Museum grand reopening. We just went for a swim trip over there and got to see the area, and I bet they'll have a lot of people showing up there because it's pretty exciting. It's a big area, and they're gonna have their new site over there. And then we have Crab Fest coming up, which everybody's excited for that. Everyone's always excited for that on May 22nd, all the way until the 26th.
Nice.
And then another fact that Jess found was stocks of Pacific halibut are at historically low numbers and are growing more slowly. Last year's harvest was the lowest on record in over 120 years, according to data from fishery managers. This is from kmxt.org. We got a lot of friends over there who are helping us out, and we use their website to find these facts. So check them out. Their website is nice for getting updated news. But yeah, our halibut are running low. And that's all I got for our current events.
Awesome. Thank you for that report. Appreciate it. Good job, Elijah. All right, Miss Emily.
I got fun fact.
Ooh, fun facts. Right on.
So the first one is Alaska has one of the largest chocolate waterfalls. It can be seen at Alaska Wildberry Products in Anchorage, Alaska.
That's
And I
pretty
think
cool.
it holds 3,000 chocolate.
Really? Oh my goodness. Wow, that's pretty cool. So what's the place that we go to check it out?
Alaska Wildberry Products.
Okay, great.
There are no IKEA stores in Alaska. I think it's like a furniture and decorating
I
store.
think you're right. Yep. That's interesting. No IKEAs in Alaska, folks. Sorry.
And there are 229 federally recognized villages in Alaska.
That's quite a lot. That's a huge amount, actually.
Alaska is home to all 3 species of North American bears.
Right. What are those species, you guys?
Well, the one obvious one is the Kodiak brown bear.
That's a subspecies of what?
Brown bear.
There you go.
And there's black bear.
And grizzly.
Good. No grizzlies up here.
No grizzlies?
Well,
Yeah.
it's it comes down to in the south, inland brown bears are called grizzlies. Okay, but not up here. They're just called brown bears usually. Some people up north will call them that, and that's fine. But what they are is they're inland brown bears, and then you have coastal brown bears. So what are the 3 again? The 3 species of bear?
Black bear.
The black bear,
Brown
very
bear.
good. Brown bear. Easy one. What's the last one, guys?
Polar bear.
There it is. Polar bear. Nicely done. Nicely done. Yes, the polar bear. Okay, cool. Thank you for that.
I have
for
one
those.
more
Ooh,
fact.
okay. What's your next one?
Is Alaska has the most bald eagles in the country with 100,000 to 150,000 eagles.
Wow. That's huge.
America.
Yeah, America, folks. America. Very cool. Good deal. Okay. Who's next?
I'm up next.
All right, Sean. What are you talking about? Ooh, this day in history. Okay,
yeah.
very good.
In 1252, Pope Innocent IV issues the papal bull ad Extra Panda, or yeah, which authorizes but also limits the torture of heretics
Right.
and the medieval Inquisition.
Right. One of the many inquisitions there by the Roman Catholic Church there in times of old. As you guys can see, this is 1252. And it's interesting that he took the name Innocent, but he was authorizing torture of people in the Middle Ages there. Okay, what's the next one?
In 1841, the immigrant wagon train to make it California leaves Independence, Missouri on a 1,730-mile journey over the Sierra Nevada.
Very good. And that's a perilous journey, 1,700 miles in a wagon, right? And you have all manner of disease, pestilence, snakes, the environment, very extreme hots, very extreme colds. And you have native tribes too that were attacking, I think, 1841. So yeah, it was definitely perilous and dangerous. And to make it 1,700 miles in a wooden wagon was a big deal. So interesting, cool, fun fact.
In 1869, National Women Suffrage Association forms in New York, founded by Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton.
Very good.
In 1940, Richard and
Maurice
McDonald opened the first McDonald's restaurant in San Bernardino,
Yeah.
California.
Very cool, fun fact. Yeah, San Bernardino, 1940, baby. That's when the Golden Arches were born, right? And at that point, it was just a burger, fries, and a milkshake. But that's the genesis of McDonald's.
That's all I ever did.
Then Ray Kroc came along later and kind of wrecked it. But anyway, very cool, fun facts. Thanks for that, Sean. Jess, you're up.
Okay. I will be talking about current school events.
Okay.
And I have another topic. Do you want me to say that too, or
No,
move
just
on?
go through because we're almost out of time here. Right. Just go through what you have.
All right. So I'll start with current school events. So we had a prom here in Port Lions on May 7th, and it's a fun time.
Good deal.
Bunch of kids from the surrounding villages came, and it was fun.
I heard a bunch of people from Nunyak came over, huh?
Yeah.
From Old Harbor. Shout out to our brothers and sisters down there in Old Harbor. Thanks for coming up and celebrating with us.
Oh yeah. So the Port Lions School will have the first senior to graduate since 2019.
Who's graduating?
I am.
Oh, okay.
And that graduation day is May 21st at 5.
Okay.
The last gym night is tonight, Thursday, and the last night to get snacks at the student store. So get over there.
There you go. Go check it out. Your last night to do it.
And the last day of school is May 30th.
Okay, great. Thank you for that, Jess. All right, Miss Alyssa, what do you got?
I'm going to be talking about earthquake safety.
Ooh, okay, good one.
So, if inside during an earthquake, drop cover and hold on. Get under a table or against a wall, away from windows and falling objects. If outside, move to a clear area away from buildings, signs, utility lines, and trees. Be prepared to evacuate if you are near a coastal area in case any earthquake causes a tsunami.
Very good, very good. Yeah, that's an important one. Obviously, we're a coastal community, and anytime there's an earthquake, they say in general, if it's large enough to knock you off your feet, you should probably get to high ground. And you'll hear the tsunami warnings go off and stuff at that time too. But if you're in a low area, you probably want to get to some high ground. Thank you for that, Allie. Okay, did we get through everybody?
I think we did. Yeah.
I know Jess, you had a recap of your swim trip, but I don't think we have enough time. Mr. S is 3:25. We just got a couple more minutes of a recap from your guys' swim trip, if that's okay. Are you okay? Okay. Awesome. Okay, Jess, why don't you give us a quick recap? Thank you for sticking with us, folks. We got started a few minutes late here, and we've run on a little bit, but thank you for hanging with us. And we're going to give you a recap of the student swim trip, and there's lots of good information in there. So go for it, Jess.
So swim trip, we obviously went swimming at the community pool and at the Coast Guard base,
It's cool.
and we had a fire
What's different about that pool?
about the Coast Guard pool.
Oh, you went to the Coast Guard base pool. You didn't go
Yeah.
to the Kodiak High School pool?
No,
No.
no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we went to the community one.
Oh, okay.
It was near the school.
Okay,
Is that what
yeah.
you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we went to both. of them.
Oh, you went to both. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's different about that one?
Well, the community pool was really hot.
Okay. Why is it hot?
Because it's cold outside.
Okay.
Probably. And it's like
Does
the
it,
water's
does
really
it smell like chlorine?
no,
Yeah. Why isn't there any
I think
chlorine?
because it was a salt based pool.
There
right?
you go.
Yeah.
That's what I was
It
looking
was
for.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Getting
Yeah.
salt water in your mouth
Oh,
the whole
yeah.
time you're trying to swim with like a bunch of people in there. It's like,
Really?
ugh. Yeah.
Interesting. So saltwater pool instead of a chlorinated.
And there
one.
was people there when we were at the Coast Guard base. We had
Okay.
it all to ourselves.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So we had a couple tours. The fire department tour, which we got to see the fire trucks and where the firefighters, just basically live because
Mhm.
they're there for a while.
Cool.
We also checked out the Alaska Aerospace buildings and where they launch rockets and stuff. So
Where is that out the road or what?
it's pretty far out there.
Yeah.
It took like an hour
Right.
to drive
Yeah.
out there.
Really
Yeah.
cool. There's
Yeah.
some cool videos online, and for you folks at home, the way some of these rocket launches go is crazy. I've seen them; they'll come off of their stanchion, right, and they'll boost to the left or to the right, and then go up. It's crazy. I've never seen anything like it. It's wild. It's kind of like the Elon Musk stuff, but yeah, good.
It was cool. Their whole
SpaceX.
facility opened up.
Nice.
The actual like where the missiles launch from. It takes them like a few days to open it
Really,
all the way up, but it comes all the way apart
Wow.
from one little pivot and moves. It's pretty
Dang.
cool.
that's awesome.
We also toured the Canna building, or the mall, as some people would say.
Well, what's called? It has a name now. What's it called?
I don't know the exact name.
Isn't it like the Canna Marketplace or something?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
think you're right, yeah.
marketplace.
the
yeah.
market or the Kodiak Marketplace. So shout out to Canna for building that, and shout out to the Kodiak Marketplace downtown. Go check it out when you get a chance.
At the Coast Guard base, we did some laser tag, which was pretty fun.
Ooh, nice.
We did bowling, also on the Coast Guard base, which was
Right.
bowling. And lastly, we had a helicopter tour, which they use to, if someone's in the ocean, they'll like go out and save them.
Sure.
At the
What
Coast Guard base.
model? What model of Coast Guard was it? A Coast Guard helicopter? You said.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
what model was that?
I don't remember what model it was. I think it was a Hawk.
Jayhawk.
Jayhawk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And those are the main ones that they use. They also use those
Yeah.
Dolphin ones, which are more streamlined and faster. But those Jayhawks are pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was pretty long and
Right.
had a long tail and everything. It was cool.
Right.
Cool experience. Swim
Nice.
trip.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that, Jess. And thank you all at home. Thank you guys, students, for being here with us. Thank you for interviewing me. I appreciate that. That was fun. I had fun. Hopefully you guys had fun doing it. And that will do it, I think, for our show. Does anyone have anything else?
We got to visit the ship
Ooh.
there. We got to visit the ship at the Coast Guard base.
Ooh,
Forgot the name.
nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, the cutter.
The cutter.
Yeah.
Oh,
We also
okay.
went to the hatchery in Kodiak to see all the salmon that are going to come in
Oh, nice.
our waters soon.
Okay, cool. Very cool. Awesome. Thank you for that, Titus and Elijah. And Emily? What's that?
I just said we ate Lunchables.
Ooh, Lunchables. All right.
All
Lunchables are popular.
Buzz, all right.
All right, guys. Well, once again, thank you guys at home for tuning in. Thank you, students, for being involved and engaged. We hope we added some value to your day. We hope you had some fun with us hanging out here for a little bit at the Native Village Report Lines. That will do it for our 9th episode of King's Corner. And do you guys want a little bit of, we got to give you a little bit of that. And
Shout
then
out to KMXT
there you go. Shout out KMXT.
and Kyle.
And we got some outro music. Well done, guys.